Hello friends, my name is Colin and welcome to my channel Culinary Delights. Please hit the subscribe button. Today I'm going to show you how to make the perfect loaf of bread. It's so simple, so easy. Join me in the kitchen. Welcome back to my kitchen. So we are going to get right into making this wonderful loaf of bread. The full recipe can be found in the description. So this is what you will need. You'll need 420 grams of all-purpose flour. It's actually better to make it with bread flour because it's got a higher protein content. 300 grams of lukewarm water. 1 packet or 2 1/4 teaspoons of instant yeast, and 2 teaspoons of salt. When measuring ingredients for baking, it's very important to understand that for a more accurate and consistent recipe, it's always important to use grams when baking. So what we're going to do is measure out the 300 grams of lukewarm water, then add the yeast into it so that you can activate the yeast, and let it sit for around about 10 minutes until it's foamy. Then you know it's ready. In a large mixing bowl, you'll combine the flour and the salt, and then make a well in the center of the flour mixture, and then pour in the activated yeast mixture. What I use is a Danish whisk, but you can use a wooden spoon, or if you want to use your hand. I use the Danish whisk for maybe about half of the mixing, and then from there I move to using my hands just to form a nice rough dough, and then continue to really incorporate everything for about 10 minutes until all the dough and the water and the yeast is fully incorporated. And then just kind of continue to mix with your hands for about 10 minutes until the dough becomes smooth and kind of like a little bit elastic as well. Then what you want to do is cover the dough in the bowl with a clean kitchen towel or plastic wrap if you prefer, and let it rise in a warm place for about 20 minutes. The dough will rise during this time, and so you just wait for it for about 20 minutes. After the 20 minutes, wet your hands to prevent the dough from sticking onto your hands, and then grab the bottom of the dough, pull and stretch it in an upward motion, making sure that it doesn't tear, and then fold it over the rest of the dough. Do 3 of these stretches and folds. Cover the dough again. By stretching and folding, you're developing the glutens in the bread. We're going to repeat this a total of 3 times. Wait another 20 minutes, and for a second time, wet your hand and repeat the process of stretching and folding the dough 3 times. Cover the dough again and let it rest for another 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, for a third time, repeat the process of doing the 3 stretches and folds. Cover it again with the kitchen towel or plastic wrap and let it rise for another 40 to 60 minutes until it has doubled in size. After the 40 or 60 minutes, pour the dough onto a lightly floured surface, form the dough into a rectangle shape, and from the bottom roll it up using 3 folds. If the dough feels too wet, don't worry about this. It's actually meant to have a high hydration to it. Now, using a little flour on your hands, use your hands to form a tight ball by turning and tucking until it comes to a nice firm ball. Place the ball in a floured banneton with the seam facing up and let it rest for about 20 minutes. While it's resting, preheat the oven to 430 degrees Fahrenheit. That will be 220 degrees Celsius. Heat it for 20 minutes, making sure that you place a Dutch oven into the oven during this time. You want that Dutch oven to be as hot as possible. If you don't have a Dutch oven, but prefer to use a bread pan for baking the bread instead, then grease the bread pan and shape the dough to fit the pan. Once the dough has finished rising, remove the covering and turn the dough seam side down onto a flat surface or a silicone bread sling, which makes it easy to place into the pot, and lightly score the top of the loaf with a sharp knife or blade. This helps the bread expand while baking. I want to warn you to please use oven gloves to prevent severely burning your hands, as the Dutch oven will be extremely hot. It'll be 430 degrees Fahrenheit, and that can burn you badly. Now, place the bread in the preheated Dutch oven, spray a little bit of water in the pot to create some sort of steam, and then cover with the lid and place back into the oven and bake for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, drop the oven temperature to 410 degrees Fahrenheit. That would be 210 degrees Celsius, and remove the lid off of the Dutch oven and bake for an additional 20 minutes. If using a bread pan, bake for only 30 to 35 minutes until the top of the bread is golden brown and the bottom sounds hollow when tapping it. Now, remove the bread from the oven and let it cool on a wire rack for at least 30 minutes before slicing. You'll actually hear the bread cracking. It's amazing sound when you hear that as it's starting to cool down. Once you've waited for 30 minutes, cut it open and just spread a nice big dollop of butter onto that and enjoy your freshly baked bread. Please let me know in the comments section how it came out for you, if you enjoyed it, and if you want other recipes regarding bread. I'm going to be doing another one on sourdough, showing you how to do a sourdough starter and then also how to make sourdough. Well, there it is, folks. A nice fresh piece of freshly baked bread. Nothing is better than that, especially during those winter months when you just need something really hearty, a nice bowl of soup and a nice fresh piece of baked bread. So I'm gonna give it a try right now. Listen to that crunch. Wow. Am I in heaven or what? This is so good. So just fresh, soft interior, crispy on the outside. You cannot go wrong with this recipe. So I really ask you to go give it a good try. Give me a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel so I can go and finish this bread. It's really awesome. Until next time, happy baking.